every week I say the same thing, which is, it's branded now, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only thing we're here to talk about is romantic comedies.
That's not what you say ever.
No, I know. I'm doing a bit.
Oh.
But it's Valentine's.
On this show?
I know. It's Valentine's Day. We love is in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's only appropriate at this point for me to have sprung a question on you like an hour ago and have given you very little prep time for this because, full disclosure, audience, we plan all of this, no matter how fake it seems. But the thing is, this one's difficult because we only usually watch horror movies. Now, you watch a lot more movies than I do generally.
Yes.
But that also means that your choices are a bigger ocean, because the question that I posed to Derek with zero prep time is, if this show were about romantic comedies and you had to, because you and I were pretty decided that the first thing we would talk about with horror was Scream. Its relevance to us and to the genre. But if you had to recommend a movie to start our conversations about romantic comedies on,
right?
Which one? How much do you like it, and why?
Oh man, that's even a different question than what I thought was being posed.
Oh no, guys, I pulled the rug pull.
Yeah, because I really just thought it was like, what's like your favorite? Or
that's
what
fine.
Because
that's all factors as to what would make it your favorite.
But I don't know what would be. Because, the format of the show would be completely different. There's not really a ton of rom-com franchises out there. It was just like single movies. I guess Bridget Jones has like 3 of those movies.
Where we talk about the sappy romance one-offs that you love. Yeah, let me give you my answer.
Yeah.
My answer takes no time to think about at all.
Okay.
Anytime this movie is available, I watch it. In my latest stint in the hospital towards like last Christmas, it was on their selection of movies. I probably watched it 3 times over the course of that little over 2 weeks. It is a movie called Crazy Stupid Love. Is that your answer?
Love Crazy Stupid Love.
Is that your answer?
It pretty much is my answer.
That's amazing.
Like, if I have to list a rom-com that I'm like, it's a really good movie.
Yeah, a generally good movie.
Yes.
For those of you unaware, Crazy Stupid Love is a movie with an amazing cast.
The cast is phenomenal. Yeah, except you're giving away huge spoilers for this movie.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's the whole point of that movie. That's the thing that I point to of like, you haven't seen that? Oh, you got to watch it, man. Because when that reveal happens, it's good.
Okay. Well, then I'll cut out what the reveal was so that we don't have to feel guilty. But guys, believe us.
Yeah.
All-star cast. But no, I love that movie.
Yeah, and it's one of those that I think it was probably the first one that I had seen that had both Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling in it. And I love their chemistry together. Obviously, later they do La La Land, which I think is a perfect film.
Which did win.
No.
Is that backwards?
Yeah, it's backwards.
Okay.
It got announced that it won. Right, okay. But it was Moonlight.
Okay, that's what it is.
So, yeah.
Moonlight over La La Land.
Yeah. That is so funny.
Yeah.
I love that movie. That is like, I'm looking at like, I have a bunch of lists, you know me.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at my rom-com list and I'm like, yeah, that would probably be the one. I also love 500 Days of Summer. I know that one's kind of a controversial one at times.
That movie's hard for me because it is such a feel bad experience, because I've gone through exactly that. Where it's like,
you dated somebody who was named after a season?
I dated, Zoe Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
No, I dated somebody and it was like very nice for a while, short amount of time, and then just cut, no answers. And you know what I did? I got really upset about it. I got really hurt in my feelings, And so what I did was I watched a million horror movies and I started a podcast about it.
That sounds like a good idea.
Do you know what her name was?
No.
Third Channel. Love is in the air. And everywhere I look around, it's the Third Channel Podcast.
Where we delve into the horror franchises you love from the perspectives of a lifelong horror fan.
And a newbie to the genre. I'm PJ.
And I'm Derek.
And today, the only thing we're here to talk about is is horror.
I almost forgot my name there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
what if you pronounced your own name wrong?
Yeah, then I'd
that's the mountaintop.
feel like I made it.
That's the mountaintop of you doing that all the time. Yes, you are listening to this. Most likely, if you are an avid fan, if you dog after the Third Channel Podcast, baby, you're listening to this. I went Kingfish from Kenny over there. If you like our podcast, you're probably listening to this on the spookiest of all spooky days, Friday the 13th.
Right. Which in this year of our Lord, 2026,
who art in hell,
is the day before Valentine's Day.
Saint Valentine, he'd be rolling in his grave if he knew that this was happening on such a spooky day. Do you think Saint Valentine likes My Bloody Valentine?
I would hope so. It's got his name in it.
Yeah, but he probably doesn't like it because his name's attached to it. Yeah. It's spookier than hell. Yes, today.
Also, if you're listening to it today, the day that it releases, hopefully we're probably at Sir Henry's.
You know what's funny is for a long time, because we recorded because of the Horror Nights season in the October, how busy we get with different shows that we're doing and whatnot. We always get so busy. So we really record a lot in advance, like a lot in advance. And so we had to say like 24 times, like, we're not at Horror Nights yet, folks. We only have the 1 week to wait, but like we are right now. If we're in your car, if we're in your headphones, if you're doing one of those things where it's like there's a speaker up your butt or whatever, and you're listening to it in your headbones or whatever, just know we're at Sir Henry's Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
It is. It is wild out here. I can't believe what they've done.
They got those little kids again, I assume.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, in just a couple months, they turned this thing around from Christmas to Valentine's.
Yeah. I don't think I actually managed to say it. I made an aside to it, but today we're talking about My Bloody Valentine.
Oh, right.
Now, that might confuse some people because they did do sort of a retelling of that story, a modern retelling of that story. And that retelling is called the same thing. But this is the original.
Correct.
This is from a period of time that was crazy in the world because you could make movies like this and it wouldn't do well, I assume.
Yeah, we'll get there.
And only later in life would it actually develop its wings and fly its weird pickaxe directly into the eyeball of a grown man.
I also love the fact that so far in this episode, you have done 2 Kingfish impressions.
Oh,
because my housekeeping is a bombshell that I found out this week.
Oh my God. You kept it from me?
I made a discovery.
Okay.
About Kingfish.
Right.
From, just to remind everyone, from Candyman Farewell to the Flesh.
Yeah, he was the radio announcer.
Once he is revealed toward the end of that film.
Right.
He is played by an actor named Glenn Gomez, who we talked about on that episode.
Yeah, he was in the fake Cars movie that they sold at Dollar Trees. Right.
Now, apparently, what I didn't realize whenever I was doing any of that research originally is that the voice for the Kingfish that you hear through the whole thing is actually done by actor Russell Buchanan.
Okay.
A completely different guy.
Right.
Now, what was our big complaint when it came to the reveal of the Kingfish?
Oh, they didn't Darth Vader, did they?
No.
Oh, okay.
Russell Buchanan is also white.
Okay.
Doing the affect.
Very thick.
Yeah. And from what I can tell, is not fat at all.
No.
So all of that is a lie. And there is no truth in that art at all.
We're going to go back and we're going to cut that entire intro out of that episode. Anytime we mentioned the Kingfish in that episode, it'll be like, oh, and then anyway, so it's like, were you going to say the radio announcer? It's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
We definitely weren't.
No, we were not. Yeah. So this is a movie which, like all movies, I saw for the first time seated on a sofa. But this one was interesting because it really was one that kind of just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I
think it was just around the time.
Probably. But the first time I saw this movie, it completely circumvents your expectation because you don't know exactly what the miner's going to be like. Is this a Michael Myers? Is this because it's masked? Is there a character underneath? So going into it blind, I had no idea. And I like the things they do with the visual of the character quite a bit. But I remember leaving the movie just kind of thinking like, oh, yeah, it's another, whatever, what Thanksgiving would go on to be. It's, there are so many holiday movies. But this one, I think I really enjoyed it more tonight and in our rewatches than I did, I think, the first time I saw it. But yeah, the first time I saw it, it's always an interesting experience being the newbie. It's something that you will not experience in this show, except for a slim margin.
Yeah, there'll be some that we get to where we both go in completely blind. Yeah, and that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think one of the last times we went, we like mostly blind because you had an idea because you had seen it before, but it had been a very long time. We both hated it. It was Inferno.
Yeah,
you didn't hate it.
No, I just it's no Suspiria.
No, it is not.
I cannot remember the first time I saw this. This is one of those that, came around during the slasher boom but it wasn't one that I had because it's a one and done.
Right. Yeah.
Other than the remake. So probably now that I'm thinking about that out loud, it's probably around 2009, whenever the remake was coming out, it was okay, well, let me track down a copy of the original.
That makes sense.
And so, because I saw the remake in theaters.
Wow. Okay.
Because it was during the era of both remakes, but also it was 2009, probably after Avatar had come out. So everything was being converted or shot in 3D. So originally it's My Bloody Valentine 3D.
Ew. What I will say, and I want to strip this Band-Aid off immediately. I don't give a fuck if you people like Jensen Ackles. I do too. I don't give a shit if you like him. We're not talking about that one next. We have plans, God damn it.
Yeah, we have big plans.
2 movies is not a franchise, even though we did Thing and then Thing 2011. But that's different. That's the thing. We love that movie.
And also that's a weird one because it's the original Thing is part of a weird trilogy and then it also has a prequel. So that's why it falls into...
We like what we like, and you don't tell us what to do.
Let's move past it.
Right. We'll get to it eventually, is the idea that we have. But no, next week we're moving on to something different, and we'll probably tell you at the end of this episode. Or
we should probably just mention it now, because we always forget to do it at the end, dude.
We'll talk about it at the end, unless we forget, which we will.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way then.
Yeah.
This is falling, this episode drops right here around
Valentine's Day. Yeah.
So the next big holiday then, of course, is St. Patty's Day, named after someone at this table.
Me. What's the one in between, the holiday in between Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day? I'll give you a hint. It's my fucking birthday.
Oh, yeah. So for PJ's birthday, we're starting Leprechaun.
Okay. I have always been very impressed and that lines up so well with your plan for our show. The way certain movies will fall on certain holidays, and there's always a really good rhyme and reason to it. And then you were like, oh yeah, and we're going to do Leprechaun on these dates. And I literally felt the first layer of my skin peel off. I am dreading. There are a couple of them that I like, but for you to do this to me on my birthday.
Yeah, I didn't purposefully do that.
And the day that I hit snakes or whatever it is.
Yeah, that one, of course.
I mashed them.
But Leprechaun's important to that one.
I guess.
Yeah, it falls in for reasons that will become revealed later, I guess. But yeah, it will take us through, because that franchise goes for a little while, so it will take us through March, which is when that falls. And we will also have, hopefully, as long as nothing gets pushed back or anything happens, we will have a little detour in the middle of it to kind of cleanse the palate in the middle of a franchise. We've never done that before, have we?
I think that's probably going to be around my birthday. Yeah. That one we're not going to tell you about, though.
No,
you get to be surprised.
Yeah.
You greedy bastards. But you know what else is a good movie? My Bloody Valentine. There's more than one way to lose your heart. 20 years after a Valentine's Day tragedy claimed the lives of 5 minors, Harry Warden returns for a vengeful massacre among teen sweethearts gearing up for another party. Misleading, I enjoy that.
Well, that's sad. It said that 5 kids lost their lives.
Okay, yeah, I knew this joke was going to happen. Yeah. Miners.
I got there first.
I know, you bastard. They're in a mine. They're down in the mine. They are dwarves.
Right.
They are searching for Smaug's gold or whatever that Arkenstone thing is from that Peter Jackson movie. Who wins in a fight? Harry Warden or Smaug? Like, what if he got trapped down there and then he fell down a pit and there was Smaug down there? Does he axe him to death or does Smaug, like, blow fire on him?
I mean, I think it's Smaug.
It's definitely Smaug.
Because he a big dragon. This is one that I enjoy this movie.
I do too. Yeah.
A pretty big deal, I think. I think I like it a little more every time I watch it because it's like, especially, let me throw this out there right now and I'll go into more of it, but there is a theatrical cut and there's an unrated cut. And I can't stress enough, like, if you like this stuff, you're going to want to search out the unrated director's cut, if you will, because the rated theatrical cut, they trimmed out a whole bunch of it, and so you basically get none of the gore that
or
you
the
would see.
SFX, yeah.
Which is a real shame because they are really well done.
They're very well done. Every time I think about that, I'm reminded of Friday the 13th Part 7. And how badly people are like, I wish that they had kept the stuff that was cut out so that they could, remaster it, release it with that extra footage. So I'm happy to see that this one got that because I truly believe without it, it would have. We probably didn't watch this version originally. We probably watched the whatever the regular Blu-ray would have been.
Yeah, I can't remember honestly, but I watched both versions this week just to kind of get the difference. And it does make a heck of a difference. Yeah. Now, what's funny is that this is, it comes out in 1981. And so with them trimming out all of the gore and everything, the grand majority of it, it does take it like the step back. It's a little closer to kind of the blood factor of Halloween, which is kind of what it's, stealing from in a way.
I think that this one, as far as effects go, way outpaces Halloween. But what I will say is that the miner would lose in a fight to Smaug, but Michael takes him no problem.
Right.
He just shows up behind him in his car. Smaug's in his car, his little red, Corolla, and Michael just slits his big old dragon throat with the biggest kitchen knife you've ever seen.
I was about to say, I'd hate to see that kitchen. My Bloody Valentine was released February 11th of 1981 in the U.S. And again, if you're listening on Friday, it was also released Friday the 13th of 1981 in Canada.
Whoa.
So
look at us.
Lining things up. We're
making the dates work, eh? Because of Canada.
Yeah. It's directed by George Mihalka. It is written by John Baird and Stephen Miller. It is produced by John Dunning, Andre Link, and Stephen Miller. Really quickly, it's not that Stephen Miller.
Yeah, it's that Stephen Miller. No, it's not the human equivalent of like a lice. Yeah.
The cinematography is done by Rodney Gibbons, who had done a movie called Pickup Summer in 1980, Blind Fear, a 1989 thriller, The Amityville Curse from 1990. I honestly don't know if that's part of the main Amityville horror film franchise or if it's one of the awful spinoffs that isn't connected.
Like the 5 billion spinoffs?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Also the cinematographer for Scanners 2 in 91, Relative Fear in 94, Screamers, a sci-fi horror film from 95, and Dead Innocent, a horror film from 97. 2 editors on this, Gerard Vancier, who had worked on Evil Judgment, a thriller from 84, and then has done a bunch of short films and documentaries. And then the other editor, Rit Wallace, had done a movie called Scandal, which was an 82 comedy, and then a thriller from 84 called The Surrogate, Murder in Space, a sci-fi film from 85, and The Gate, a horror film from 87. The Gate gets mentioned all the time.
Yeah.
I've yet to watch it.
You know what I will say? Doing this show for as long as we have, because we're damn near 70 episodes. Holy shit, do all of these movies just sound the same? Do you know what I mean? Horror movies suffer from like the really standout ones have really good names, but then all of the ones that aren't the really standout ones, it's like Big Bloody Dick or whatever. Yeah. It's just
The House by the Lake.
Right. The guy over there, they're all the same. Guy over there, by the way. That's Candyman.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah, he's in that snowstorm.
The budget for this film is $2.3 million, and the
Wow.
box office is $5.7 million.
I bet 1.3 million of those $2.3 million went to making sure that there were safety regulations when they shot most of that movie in a real fucking mine.
Probably, or they should have. I mean, so it did make a profit, but it amounted to less than 1/3 of Paramount's Friday the 13th, which released the year before this. This film was also distributed by Paramount. So the director, George Mihalka, had done Pick Up Summer, the comedy from 1980, Scandal, the comedy from 82, a horror film from 85 called Eternal Evil, Hostile Takeover in 88, The Psychic in 91, Relative Fear in 94, and then something called Bloodlust, My Bloody Valentine, and The Rise of Slasher Films, which is a documentary from 2009, and then Black Christmas Legacy, which was a 2015 documentary about that film.
He worked in a movie called Pick Up Summer. Mm-hmm. Is that picking up the 500 Days of Summer?
I don't believe so.
They're not related.
I do not think so.
Okay. 500 Days of Summer is not some sort of legacy sequel to Picking Up Summer.
I've never seen Pick Up Summer, so...
Guys, leave a comment if what I said is right.
Yeah. Leave a comment if what he said was wrong.
Leave a comment.
End of sentence.
Yeah.
The screenplay was written by John Baird, who had also written the horror film Happy Birthday to Me. It was he did uncredited writing on that. A thriller called Baker County, USA. A drama film from 85 called North Beach and the Rawhide. And then he was an executive producer on Not of This World in 91. The story was written by, and then one of the producers, Stephen Miller, he wrote and produced a superhero pilot called Chameleons in 89. So it was like a pilot for a show that didn't go off, so it just became a TV movie. He did Nightman, which was a superhero show, apparently. Mm-hmm. And then he produced something called The Werewolf of Washington, which was a 1973 horror comedy. The other producers, John Dunning and Andre Link, I guess they were like kind of a partner producer team.
Okay.
They had produced Daughters of Darkness, a 71 vampire film, Shivers, and Rabid, 2 films by David Cronenberg.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then The House by the Lake, a 1976 horror film. Mm-hmm. That's why it was on my mind. And Happy Birthday to Me from 81. And they were the executive producers on My Bloody Valentine 3D in 09.
Okay.
So they would come back for that. The music in this movie is done by Paul Zaza, who had also done the music for Prom Night, the slasher film from 1980. He would also do the music for Prom Night 2, 3, and 4. The slasher film Ghost Keeper from 81, Curtains from 83, American Nightmare from 83, The Brain, a sci-fi horror film from 88, Popcorn, another slasher from 91, and then he had done work with Bob Clark on Murder by Decree, Porky's, A Christmas Story, From the Hip, My Summer Story, Baby Geniuses, and Now and Forever.
So every movie that Bob Clark made except the one we've talked about.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. We might as well get this out of the way because I don't know of a time that we'll bring this back up. Mm-hmm. The score is completely flat and unmiraculous. And
yeah, there's not much to it.
No, when you look at a movie and you're looking back at the entire thing and you're like, what did it sound like? Mm-hmm. And you're just kind of like, oh, I guess it just sounded like a movie. Yeah. Like there's nothing creative. At one point, there's like a cool little piano riff that we kind of paused because it sounded like something else. But ultimately,
that is honestly what it is. There are so many little musical motifs that happen in this that I go, oh, that almost sounds like, oh, wait, never mind.
It sounds like somebody doing their best to rip off, the Halloween. Mm-hmm. That's what it sounds like. Mm-hmm. But not good. It's like Bad Halloween, which is a spinoff of Bad Grandpa. Knoxville's out there. He's got a pumpkin. He got crazy.
So off of the strength of his earlier movie, Pick Up Summer, director George Mihalka was approached by Cinepix, which was headed at the time by Andre Link and John Dunning, the producers, with a 2-movie contract. And so he was asked to direct a horror slasher movie, which whenever he first got asked, he was like, well, I've never made a horror movie before. And they're like, right? But before you made Pick Up Summer, had you ever made a comedy before? And he was like, well, no. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
So they gave him a shot, and they had presented the idea that was written by Stephen Miller in mid-1980, and then he agreed to direct, and John Beard came on to write the screenplay. It was originally titled The Secret, But then the producers decided to change it to My Bloody Valentine to reference the holiday serial killer trend that was very popular in the slasher genre at the time.
It's a very smart move.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. My favorite subgenre of horror films are the holiday themed. You Krampus?
Mm-hmm.
That's Black Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, and that's just it. It's like
Arbor Day?
Black Christmas, and you make that joke. There is an Arbor Day horror film out there.
Have you seen it?
At least one. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've talked about Black Christmas in 1974, Halloween from 1978, Friday the 13th from 1980. This is also during the slasher boom where we already had releases for Prom Night and Terror Train in 1980. I'm hoping to get to those hopefully next year.
Okay, but here's a question.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't seen the horror movie about Arbor Day, but do you celebrate it? And do you protect the planet?
In my, yeah.
Okay.
In my day-to-day life and in my heart, yes.
Good.
Shooting for this film began in September of 1980 around the Princess Collier mine in Sydney Mines, Nova Scotia. It had closed, the mines themselves had closed in 1975. And what's funny is apparently they went in and this town, because like when the mines closed, like that was how the town kind of made their money. And so then they came in like 5 years later and were like, hey, we'd love to use this location to shoot a movie. And they were like, oh yeah, that's great. We could bring in some money that way. And so whenever they went down into the mines to shoot, they had like cleaned it all up. They said that it looked like a Disney set.
Oh no.
And they're like, oh, well this isn't, and they couldn't like act upset about that.
Right.
So they had to dirty up the set to make it look like an actual mine that was still in use.
They did a good job.
It looks phenomenal.
They did as good of a job making that mine shaft dirty as the John Carpenter Halloween crew did at sprinkling those leaves.
Oh, that's a good pull.
Thank you.
So 2 mines had been considered for this setting. The other was in Glace Bay, Nova Scotia, but they decided on the Sydney Mines location due to the exterior being a more dreary, cold, dusty area with no other buildings around it. So it looks like it's in the middle of nowhere, which is, makes for a cool horror finale set piece. Mihalka had said that, like, since making the movie, the most difficult element was filming in the mines themselves. It was located like 2,700 feet underground. And he said that filming in a mine is a very lengthy process because you have limited space in the elevators. So everything takes so much time to transport people, cast, crew, equipment up and down the elevators to the shooting location. And then also due to the methane levels underground, lighting had to be very carefully planned because the number of bulbs that can be used, the types of bulbs that can be used.
It's funny because now that wouldn't be a factor. Now you just have LEDs.
Mm-hmm. But
God
damn. But at the time, they literally,
you could touch a light and burn your finger. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so that was a whole thing where they had to figure out how to properly light down there.
Oh my God. And they did it so well.
Yeah. They apparently got if they weren't the same lenses exactly, they were the same type that Stanley Kubrick used on Barry Lyndon. So they could shoot, they're called fast lenses. They take in like the most amount of light.
Okay.
So,
well, it's that, but then they also, for the majority of the lighting of this movie, they're using headlamps, they are using flashlights, and they're using mine lamps that like string across the shaft. That's really cool. I didn't know that. Yeah. The other thing is that the oxygen levels down there must be abysmal.
I would think.
Yeah.
Basically the producers had referred to the shoot as absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
I would imagine. The big thing about this that kind of, I think, hindered its success originally, maybe, was that it was significantly censored in the North American territories because on its theatrical release. The MPAA would not give it its R rating. A bunch of cuts had to be taken from this thing. I think the director said that they had to send it back at least 4 times.
Jesus.
Basically, cuts were requested for every death sequence in the movie. And they, even after cutting it, several times, sending it back, eventually they get there. They lose about 9 minutes of total footage.
Christ.
Now, there are 2 reasons that are like kind of frequently talked about for why the extreme cutting of this movie. It has been suggested that Paramount was keen to remove a lot of the offending footage due to the backlash they had received from releasing Friday the 13th the year before.
Yeah.
And then the second reason that the director attributes is that the film was cut due to the murder of John Lennon in December of 1980. And so there was a major backlash against movie violence in the wake of his death.
I will never understand those moments in history where it's like John Lennon was shot by a psycho in New York. He was shot, the one, however, and then this movie, it's like, well, there's a miner with a pickaxe who's 2,500 feet underground killing his fellow 20-year-olds. And it's like, yeah, but those are the same.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
People might get an idea
to go shoot people in a mine.
Yeah.
That love our bad drawings and hate Jesus.
Yeah, that's true. But the thankfully the uncensored cut was eventually it was unavailable for the public for 30 years. And then Paramount eventually released the film on DVD in North America for the first time in 2002. And they had claimed that the missing footage was all gone. That didn't exist anymore. But then in 2008, Lionsgate had licensed the film to do another release for home video. And because they had been the ones producing the remake, and they found some of that footage.
Fantastic.
And so they were able to cut back in about 3 minutes of it into what they called the unrated special edition that was released on DVD and Blu-ray. And then later, Scream Factory has since released that on 4K and Blu-ray with both versions of the movie, which is what we have now.
It's insane to think that, goddamn, what do you think the other 6 minutes had?
Probably just some easy conversations between characters. Nothing too bad.
Oh, see, because for a second I thought it was going to be, out of the 9, they cut out 3, so there's 6 left. So I thought maybe 69.
I'm telling you now, this town is accursed. It started 20 years ago. It was the night of the Valentine's Day dance at the Union Hall. The biggest event of the year. It had been a tradition for over 100 years. Everybody was there except for 7 miners who were out at the Hanniger mine. 5 of them still down below. 2 supervisors were waiting for the men to come up. Anxious to get to the party, they left before the men were safely out, failing to check the methane gas levels in the tunnels down below. The 5 men were buried alive as the town continued its party. For 6 weeks, we dug round the clock to try to save them. After we broke through, 1 man was found alive. I was the one who found.
I feel so genuinely bad for our audience at this moment. Because the clip, and I think we should stick to it. I think it's a good clip.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, imagine driving. You're listening to the Third Channel podcast. And we're talking, and our voices are low and sultry.
Sexy.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden there's a fucking explosion. And you're like, oh my God, that's so bad. And then after the explosion, it goes back to talking. And you're like, okay. Well, that's not that bad. And then someone it's like the end of the Haunted Mansion.
That's what I was thinking. It sounds like a Haunted Mansion scream.
Yeah. You know why it sounds like that? Because it is. Oh. Welcome, foolish listeners, to the Haunted Channel. Guys, I'm retiring.
Yeah, from life. So this movie starts.
Yes, it does.
With
like
a
all
Dutch
movies
angle.
do. Yeah.
No, it starts with 2 miners, not children.
No.
But 2 people who work at a mine, and they are walking through said mine to be alone together.
Yeah. And at the beginning, it's like, oh, maybe they're on they got to go pick up equipment or whatever. And then one of them reveals from under their mining uniform. Very Michael Myers-y, it's a good look. It's a good killer look.
Oh,
it's a workman's jumpsuit. Think about this workman is that it's a work woman because she immediately pulls out her braziered yabos. And she has this very real looking heart tattoo on her chest.
She certainly has that tattoo.
Yeah. I like that little bit of the expectation, and then immediately like, oh, but this is a lady. And then, oh, and it's a sex scene.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that's neat.
Yeah, why wouldn't you start your movie that way?
Yeah. The red flag, though, is that the gentleman that she's attempting to seduce slams a pickaxe into the wall right next to her. She doesn't react. She's like, oh. And it's like, get the fuck out of there. He's trying to mine you. And I don't know what he's going to craft.
I don't know.
An alibi.
That's good.
Yeah.
And he'll need it.
Because he's a murderer, because he killed her. But no, how weird is that? It reminds me of in Inferno when the girl is just dead and the guy's like, huh. Anyway, and it's like he slams the pickaxe into the wall and she doesn't flinch. She's like, oh my God, you're so bad. And it's like, bitch, I wish that tunnel collapsed on you.
Wow.
That's what you deserve. You don't know how dangerous it is down in these mines.
It really is. Yeah. For a lot of reasons in this film.
Well, yeah, because then he grabs her by the shoulders and he pushes her into the pickaxe.
Yeah, because he seems to have some sort of, he has a very negative response to seeing this small heart over her heart.
He goes crazy pants banana psycho. And the other red flag, by the way, she like takes off her mask. She's ready to like, make out or whatever. And she goes to take his mask off and he like moves his head around. He's like, don't judge me. He's like, leave my mask on. It hides my identity. And she's like, why do you want to do that? He's like, don't ask me any more questions.
But yeah, it's a quick little, we open up with a kill.
Yeah, it's a good one too.
Yeah.
It's and the effect is so like, because that's the thing about these horror movies is that you can always tell when it jumps and there's latex and it's not skin anymore. But this one because I'd forgotten originally not having seen the version of this film with all the gore in it because that axe like bursts out of her xenomorph style, baby. And it's great. It looks great.
Yeah. All of the effects really look good in this. The most you get in the theatrical cut is like the first little bit where it's kind of poking up, but it doesn't come through the skin.
Yeah.
Once it does that, you don't get that. And then
this is Bloody and Valentine.
Yeah.
And mine.
Yeah. Speaking of, that's where we push in because she eats the camera and then we get a title sequence of My Bloody Valentine.
Normally, I don't like those shots. I think they're a little cheesy. The like, what is that movie? It always reminds me of that the Peter Jackson movie that's like impossible to find. What is it? Dead Alive, I think is what it's called. I know it's got a couple names, but the poster of that is like somebody's mouth super stretched open and like a spooky face looking out, or maybe a skull. I can't remember, but that's what it always reminds me of. Is like they're like because they swallow the audience whole,
and I felt it.
Did you enjoy it?
Oh, I did. We get a title card. It is Thursday, Friday. Nope, it is Thursday.
Friday the 13th. Jason's out. He got out of hell.
It is Thursday, February 12th is the day that it is.
I am fat.
And then we meet up with our main cast characters, this mining crew. They are getting cleaned up after a day of work in the mines. This is where, like, it immediately starts with what I think is the strongest thing about this whole movie is how good these characters are and how they interact with each other.
Yeah. Oh, there is not a period of time where two characters are interacting that it feels in any way like a performance. This feels like, well, you know what it reminds me of is like when you hear people will go to like a humane society or whatever to adopt an animal and the animal is there bonded to another animal. It's like, oh, well, fuck, I guess I'm going to adopt both. It's like a guy came in to audition for this movie and brought a dozen friends.
Yeah.
And the director was like, all right, well, we'll hire you all.
Yeah, I guess we'll take the lot.
And they're like, yay, because they all feel like they've known each other forever. None of them are super caricature-y. None of that. They all fit into like almost like Breakfast Club sort of cliches,
but it's like more broad strokes.
Yeah, where the Breakfast Club is a character, it's super caricature-y. This is more like in a group that doesn't associate out. Like in a high school, this is out of that. They're older. It's like, yeah, you've got somebody who, and I can never remember his name. Wilford Brimley, the guy with the big mustache. What is his name?
Hollis is the character's name.
Because he's great and everybody seems to like, and we were kind of talking about this. Yeah. Everybody seems to really kind of respect him. And then you've got like the goofball and you've got like the alpha, and then you've got like the little guy, and everybody serves their role. The one complaint I will say about the cast in this movie is that you really only have 2 women. You've got girl being fought over.
You've got Sarah.
And then you've got, what is it, Patty or something?
You got Patty, who is Hollis's girlfriend.
Right. And those are the only 2. And Patty's character, by the way, is in the beginning. She's like, I'm going to dress like a slut. And then at the end, she's like, oh my God. And that's it. Sarah's great.
Yeah.
She is, suffering and kind of tortured. And I know I'm just kind of covering all these characters at once, but in my mind, there's so many of them.
Yeah.
But that is, I think, a complaint is like all the other women in this
kind
movie
of fall by the wayside.
Well, they
have their one little moments and then that's it.
They will look at the man that they've been partnered with and go, oh my God, stop. Or they go and die. And there's not a lot in between except for Sarah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and the laundromat lady.
Yeah. Mabel.
Yeah. Her performance is fire.
Ham. But I agree. It feels very small town. It feels very like you said, these are not teenagers. So it's not our normal, like what you think of as slasher, babysitters. It's like, oh no, this is the graduating class. Next year, they all, have jobs as minors. And then you have the one guy who like tried to go out west and make it and didn't. And now he's back and he's bitter and upset.
Yeah. Well, I would be too. It's funny because without having ever experienced anything like that, I can believe the misery of that. You go to California, which is funny because I hope he didn't go out there to be an actor. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a little flat.
Yeah.
He's also got to be Irish. His accent is all over the place.
Yeah. We are introduced to our mayor. Mayor Hanniger is played by Larry Reynolds. He was in a disaster movie in 1980 called Virus. He was in the slasher film Killer Workout from 1987. And then other than that, he's mostly a TV actor.
Now, let me ask you a question. What did you say the mayor's last name was?
Hanniger.
And what is the name of the mine?
Hanniger's Mine.
And what is TJ's last name? TJ, our lead.
Yeah, Hanniger.
Oh, so what you're saying is that
he's a Nepo baby.
Is that the mayor didn't deserve his job and TJ's a goddamn Nepo baby.
Yeah.
TJ is certainly the Jack Quaid of mining because he is a Nepo baby, but he's also very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a good point.
Of our generation, dude, Jack Quaid is the best of us. Yeah.
But they live in Valentine Bluffs, which is a Canadian mining town, and they are finally reinstating their big Valentine's Day dance, which has been suspended for the last 20 years.
Yep. You have this kind of it's what is the John Carpenter movie, the Village? Village of the Damned. It feels kind of like that town, like sort of a sleepy, and you only really ever see either the mine or like the downtown sort of strip, but it just feels so sleepy and quaint. And I like the setting in this a lot because the other thing is it's never actually like sunlit. It's like kind of gray. And from time to time, it's like sort of dusk.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's drab. That's the thing I take away from this movie is that like when you are in the mine, it is like poorly lit and dark. And then when you are outside, it is also poorly lit because it's like, that's kind of the feeling. It's doom and gloom.
True.
And I think that was done well.
Oh yeah. So yeah, the mayor comes into the, where they're going to be throwing this dance and all the kids, as we call them, because they are adults, but they are younger than the mayor and the police chief and Mabel, who runs the laundromat and things like that.
Well, now they're definitely probably in their 60s or dead.
Yeah, that is the unfortunate thing. Hollis's actor has passed. Howard's actor has passed.
Hollis's actor passing is sad. That's my favorite character in this movie.
Certainly mine.
Yeah, I would in the remake he should have been Seth Rogen.
Yeah, okay,
but the would have been him coughing out black lung.
That's really good. I mean, not good for him, but you know what I mean. No. So TJ Hanniger is played by Paul Kellman, who doesn't have a lot of other acting credits, but he was in I'm Going to Get You, Elliot Boy, which was a prison film from 1971. He is in the 81 comedy Gas, and then he is in the horror film from 88, Black Roses. which we have watched.
We have, yeah.
It's another Joe Bob Briggs had it for one of his Valentine's Day specials because it is.
Was it that one and Frankenhooker back to back?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
that's the pair.
One, yeah. What I will say about him is that I'm surprised he didn't do more. I mean, he's obviously a lead in this. I know I gave him shit before. He's a little flat from time to time.
Yeah.
But it's not like he's one note. He gives a good performance. He gives a very believable performance. I'm surprised he wouldn't have continued working.
Yeah, that's true.
It's probably just lost in the shuffle of being a horror actor. That's kind of what this timeline is.
A Canadian horror actor. It's like, because most of the people in this don't have like huge careers that I've seen.
Well, nothing scary comes out of Canada.
Yeah.
The scariest thing that come out of Canada is a goddamn moose.
Those are horrifying. Yeah.
Who wins in a fight, a moose or a goose?
Oh, a moose.
You ever seen a pissed off goose?
I have, but
what about a little old lady who lives in a shoe?
I don't know where we're going.
I don't know. Canada always just seems to me like the fun house of the world.
Yeah. One of the other, I would say the other person in this love triangle here is Alex Palmer. Not Alex, Axel. Man, I am all over the place tonight.
My favorite part about that, though, is that it's technically you pronouncing a name wrong, so it's not actually a problem.
Yeah.
But it is.
But they say it a million times, so how did I get it wrong? Axel Palmer is played by Neil Affleck.
Not related.
No, as far as
he doesn't love Dunkin' Donuts.
He might.
That's true.
Canada runs on Dunkin'. I think he had a small part in Scanners, the Cronenberg film from 81.
Oh, okay.
He was in the 82 slasher Visiting Hours. And then much later in 2023, a horror film called The Ghost is a Lie.
Weird.
Yeah.
That happens a lot in these discussions too.
I try and find if they've done recent work and if they've come back to the horror, the horror genre at all. So Axel and TJ are fighting over Sarah Mercer, who is played by Lori Hollier, who was in Warning Sign, a sci-fi horror film from 85, Night of the Twisters, which was a TV disaster film from 96. And then she was in the sci-fi comedy Disney Channel original movie, The Other Me from 2000, which stars Andrew Lawrence, which is, I believe, the youngest of the Lawrence brothers.
Okay. Now that we've read Canada's equivalent of a Yellow Pages, it is the setting. Taking the time to actually shoot this in a mine pays off so fucking well.
Well, in this little town as well. I think it has such charm.
Yeah. And it's the coin flip of because at one point they are like in the mine, and I'm probably jumping ahead, but they're in the mine and they are, soot blackened and just covered in grime, and they shower themselves off. They put their clothes back on and then they're up and outside, and it's like a complete you did not know what they looked like until now. And I think that's also like a good way. It's a good way to represent a bunch of characters that you're not going to spend the time to flash out.
Right.
It's like, oh, look, they have a good dynamic, and they still do. There they go.
Yeah, no, I think it does a great job of world building in that. And then the other person I'll introduce here, Chief Jake Newbie.
Which is me.
Yeah. It's played by Don Franks, who had done a voice in the adult animated movie Heavy Metal from 1981.
Okay.
Do you know what that is?
No.
Oh, like heavy metal paintings that would be on the sides of vans.
Yeah.
Well, there's a magazine that's called Heavy Metal that is that sort of art.
Oh,
like that. What is it? Frank Frazetta art or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm pronouncing that wrong.
Like barbarian fantasy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's like that, but brought to life, and it's like a animated, almost like the Daft Punk Interstellar 5x5 movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But he does a voice in that. He was in the 95 cyberpunk film Johnny Mnemonic. He was in 2015, the horror comedy He Never Died. And then I find this incredibly interesting. He was the voice of Boba Fett in the Star Wars holiday special.
What? The sheriff?
Yes.
Fuck?
So the first time that Boba Fett ever, like the first appearance of Boba Fett to anyone on this earth, was this dude doing the voice in that cartoon.
So what you're saying is that Boba Fett is a newbie.
Mayor Henniger and the town's police chief, Jake Newbie. They get this, it's this motif that continues throughout the whole movie, but they get this box of Valentine chocolates. and they're driving away to go set up the next thing, whatever in town. And they open it up, and there is an actual human heart in there.
And it's so funny because the mayor opens it and he looks down and he sees a real heart. The inside of the package is like bloodstained. And he just goes, oh no. And he like leans his head back. He's not like, oh my God, or like, what the fuck? He's just like, God damn it, no. And he leans his head back. And he's literally like, not again.
And the police chief who's driving like doesn't slam on brakes or anything like that. He just like, they just kind of slow to a stop for a second, and they're just like, and they turn around and go back into town.
He's like, oh God, no. Put your hazards on.
But there is a note with a warning that says, from the heart comes a warning filled with bloody good cheer. Remember what happened as the 14th draws near.
Yeah.
This is a little like rhyming thing that happens throughout the movie. And they kind of get lazier and lazier and lazier every note.
Until the end is basically like, flowers are red. Now you're going to be dead. It's like, it's bad.
Not even like the last note I think that he picks up is literally just like, you didn't stop the party. It's like, well, this isn't even a couplet. Like, what is this? It's not a haiku. It's nothing.
You should not have, I don't care. Who gives a shit?
575.
67.
But keep that in. So we then basically move to our bar set, where our clip comes in. All of our cast characters here are hanging out at the bar, and the bartender. This is as close as we get to a Crazy Ralph in this movie.
Yeah, but he's no Crazy Ralph.
No. But yeah, he tells the story of this tragedy that happened 20 years ago in 1960.
He does kind of start his monologue with like, this town is haunted, or like, this town has occurred.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. It's been a long time. This town has a death curse.
The bartender's name apparently is Happy.
Yeah, they call him Hap.
He is played by Jack Van Evera. He was part of the search party in Black Christmas.
Okay, that's cool.
And then later he would, like the next year, he'd be in Deadly Eyes, a sci-fi horror film. But yeah, the dances stopped 20 years ago because of the accident. We don't need to go into all of this because of the clip.
That's true.
But basically, Harry Warden, the only survivor, he apparently resorted to cannibalism in order to survive, went insane, and then was taken to a asylum.
After murdering a handful of people that he felt were responsible for him being trapped down there and being a cannibal anyway.
Yeah, and he cut out their hearts and placed them in the Valentine candy boxes, much like the mayor just received.
Right. So the mayor is immediately assuming that this psycho man has returned, a la Loomis and Michael.
Yeah.
But this guy ain't no Loomis.
No. Harry Warden and the miner are played by Peter Cowper, whose only other credit is a comedy called Oh Heavenly Dog. Came out in 1980. And apparently it is Chevy Chase as a detective who is killed. And then he has to prove his own, like, who his murderer is after being reincarnated as a dog.
I mean, that's just the plot of Quigley, which is the same story, but instead of solving his murder, he has to prove that he's worthy to go to heaven, and it's Gary Busey.
Oh, Heavenly Dog.
Which is another funny tie into horror, because that movie also stars Osgood Perkins, director of such films as The Monkey, or The Blackcoat's Daughter.
Or The Longlegs.
It's a bizarre world that we live in.
It is. But yeah, all the kids just kind of laugh that off. This is where we get. Let's introduce a couple of our characters here. Hollis, who we already know and love. Keith Knight is the actor there. He was in Meatballs, the comedy from 1979.
Of course.
Both the producing team in this, they produce like all the Meatballs movies.
Okay.
So that may have been the tie there. He was in a horror film from 1983 called Of Unknown Origin, and then another horror film from 1990 called Whispers. And then Howard Landers is our like kind of goofball prankster guy.
Yeah. And we kind of talked about him, and we'll probably talk about him later on, but he is like one of the only examples in our history of this podcast of a prankster sort of like obnoxious character who isn't obnoxious and we kind of like.
Yeah, I don't absolutely hate this guy.
No, I like his time on screen is like kind of charming.
Yeah.
Like I'm jumping way ahead, but eventually during like kind of a party, there's a big blow up, like a huge fight. The party screeches to a halt, and he is basically like, "Hey guys, it's a party. Look at me. I'm gonna," and he like sucks soda through his nose. He was doing that anyway. He was trying to snort coke.
He literally, that's what he's doing, man. He's bad at it.
I just absolutely cracked myself up. Because he breathed in a can of Coca-Cola through a straw in his nose.
Howard is played by Alf Humphreys, who is in, you'll be excited to hear this.
Was he an elf?
No.
Okay.
But he is in Ernest Rides Again.
Hey.
He plays the surgeon. He was also in Final Destination 2 in 2003. And he plays William Drake in X2, X-Men United. He's like, would that be Bobby's father?
No. William. Oh, yeah, I guess it would be. Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Oh, see, I totally misplaced that. If it was X-Men 2, I thought it was Stryker's son in the wheelchair because he kind of looks like that. But no, I don't think it is.
Yeah. Sarah and TJ kind of share a quick moment here in the bar. And it's just, reiterating him being unhappy with the situation. Basically, TJ and Sarah used to be together. TJ moved away. She got with Axel. Now TJ's back and he don't like it.
Which is funny because that's the exact same sort of the exact same situation as in Thanksgiving, where the baseball star moves away because he's broken his wrist during the Black Friday massacre. And so then she ends up with the dickwad that they made fun of in the beginning of the movie. But she secretly still, I think his name is Bobby, the baseball guy. She secretly still wants him. And Sarah secretly still wants TJ. Again, cutting ahead. What I do like, though, is that there isn't like it's not like, oh, yeah, Axel's into me and, we got together after you left, but I don't actually like him. I really like you. She is like, no, I don't know. They're both good for me. They're both bad for me. And I don't know what I want. And this is not a fair position to be in.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I agree with that. Live your truth, girl.
Yeah. And your mention of Thanksgiving, I will say these rewatches, especially since we've talked about Thanksgiving on this show now, if Thanksgiving, if you thought that it was borrowing from Halloween, it's like, no, it is borrowing absolutely from My Bloody Valentine.
I don't mean this as a bad thing. I don't mean this as a criticism, but Thanksgiving is like a Xerox copy of this movie, just with a much better printer and much finer ink. Yeah. It's like Thanksgiving does this movie in a way that's very modernized, but like, oh yeah, the things they pull from this movie.
You have an entire town named Valentine. So their whole thing is, oh, we love to celebrate Valentine's Day. It's like, oh,
like Plymouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the way that the killer looks, the just the simple jumpsuit of it all. He has in Carver's case, it's a axe.
But then the other thing is that John Carver wears like this like vacuum form plastic mask, but everyone has one. And it's the same with a miner. He's wearing a miner uniforms mask. And it's like, it is completely, it's unmiraculous, but in this context, it's terrifying.
Yes.
It
cuts an amazing silhouette. It's an interesting look.
Oh,
it's
I love
unhuman because you cannot see who is inside there.
No, I agree. You can't. And with the reflection and the way they shoot it, you can't see eyes underneath except for maybe one or two times. This is that movie. I think this is that movie that started my obsession with watching a franchise, finishing the franchise, and then getting the figure.
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh, I love the way this looks. So you look it up. Did they make one? Yes, they did. Order it now.
Yep. This was probably the perfect example of that. So Mayor Hanniger and Chief Newbie take the heart to a coroner. I almost feel like they go like the town over so that none of this gets out.
It's the funniest thing in the world, though, is because they're sitting around. The guy who plays the sheriff is great and he's very believable. The guy who plays the mayor is also great, but he's not believable at all. And I think the reason for that is because I think it's supposed to come across as like a sort of bumbling guy who's like, well, we can't let anybody know what's going on. We have to get the fuck out of here. And he's just like constantly in a panic. And it is so funny.
Yeah.
But then all of this energy is being expended, and then the cop or the coroner just comes out from the back room and he's like, well, it's a human heart.
Yes, it is the delivery of that. It's just like, I've seen a lot of hearts in my time, and this certainly is one of them.
The sheriff's like, are you sure it's not like a pig or something? And he's like, He takes a little nibble out of it. He's like, no, this is human. You made the joke in the watch that the coroner then eats that heart and becomes that girl.
Yeah.
Which is very funny.
You know, if you know.
Yeah.
The laundromat is our next little set piece here with Mabel Osborne, played by Patricia Hamilton. She is in a drama film from 1976 called Goldenrod that also starred Donald Pleasance. And then,
ladies and gentlemen,
he's back. And then her biggest role that she kind of played over the years is Rachel Lynde in the Anne of Green Gables adaptations. These range from like 1985 all the way up to like 2008.
Okay.
There are several different miniseries, and I guess she just played that character through all of them. I am not familiar with that franchise at all.
Neither am I.
But she doesn't have a lot to do in this.
No, I guess what her character is supposed to be is a small business owner who is very into the town and its well-being, who kind of helps plan the giant Valentine's Day gala. And then as it gets, more and more tumultuous, she is kind of having conversations about what's going to be done. She seems involved.
And she is sweet on the sheriff.
Yeah, she's also incredibly murderable. Yeah.
I love how this scene is set up because you get our first real big use of the killer POV.
Yeah.
And it's the sound design. This was, the director talked about how most of all, the thing he took from the thing that he liked the most from Black Christmas was the use of the POV and putting us in the killer's shoes.
Yeah.
And then being able to play with that sound that now that is the killer watching.
That's
and
great,
seeing
yeah.
the black gloves come up and push the door open and watching her through the windows and things like that. It's, very voyeuristic. And like the fact that she doesn't know that she's being watched is terrifying.
Yeah. And because every note that's delivered by the killer to a victim or the sheriff or somebody, because they all go completely downhill in a kind of descending order, here's the second best note.
Yeah. Roses are red, violets are blue. One is dead, and so are you.
Which is like,
he tried.
Yeah, but he murdered her.
He does. I love because he cuts the lights out of the laundromat, and then he's kind of knocked her to the ground. Or she stumbles and falls to the ground. And then anytime we cut to her reaction shot of her terrified face, it's just his headlamp reflecting on her. And it's shaky as he's struggling and swinging the pickaxe and everything.
Yeah, it's not a clean thing. He's terrifying her, but he's also just, I don't know that that's intentional. The way that the action plays out in this scene, it feels, like feral. And well, she goes to, do you remember in Candyman, Farewell to Flesh, when the bartender grabs the guy and slides him across the bar through a random window? He kind of does the same thing, but it's not a random window. It's just the window to this place.
Yeah. It's like, it almost looks like she's going to get away running into the back, and then he grabs her and pulls her back.
Yeah.
And then we see another POV shot because these guys are huddled. Our group of guys are out in the middle of like a junkyard. All these, it's probably where Freddy is buried.
I was going to say Freddy is buried there, or it's in Haddonfield, and any minute now the procession's going to come in and throw Michael Myers' dead 90-year-old body in the baler.
Yeah, we have to assume that's all the same junkyard.
Yeah, he spent so much time in that sewer that baler smelled like shit for years. Like, we can't get the fucking mold out of this.
What is he, our president?
Not mine. Hashtag.
But yeah, they're hanging out in this junkyard, and so we get another POV shot. Now the interesting thing here is we get a couple POVs through this, but this one does not feature the breathing.
No, it doesn't. And the other thing that I like about this is it's such a twist. Okay, I can't discuss this without spoiling the end, so I'm going to do that now. Ladies and gentlemen, Axel Palmer, our big blonde guy who loves Sarah so much, he's the guy. He's the murderer. He's the My Bloody Valentine dude.
Yeah.
I have to say that because I think this is also interesting.
Yeah, because they're playing with the whole movie. They're playing with, because it is kind of a whodunit. They don't make as big a deal out of it, but it is like, we
definitely.
don't. But it's like kind of like Carver, where it's like, well, is it a mythical figure? Is it this person come back in some way?
Is it someone we know? Right. Are they tricking you? But what I like about this is that the movie kind of plays because of the love triangle dynamic and the gone and then back of TJ and the kind of overly possessive, like struck figure of Axel. They kind of play with this. Is it one of the two of them?
Right.
And especially when the like kind of the third act begins and they're out at the mine, the group of them, it really starts to play with that. But I like this. And I think this is interesting because TJ is the person who we're following. And he is there to talk to Axel. But what I like about that is what that means is that the movie uses the killer POV to push into the killer, which I love.
I do like that.
Because it's rewatchability. If you go back, it's like, oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
What a fun way to use that trope in a way that's both misleading, but then later on, it's kind of rewarding.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. I hadn't really thought about that.
They have
I love this exchange. Because it is like the little fake out scare, but then they have, I think a good character moment between the two of them of just like, let's squash this thing between us. Let's figure this out.
It shows the difference between the mental stability that TJ has and the mental instability that Axel has, where TJ's like, look, we have a problem, you and me. Let's fix that. Let's figure out what to do about that. And Axel's like, no. Like, get fucked. That's my girlfriend. Leave us alone or we're going to have a problem. And then fucking Hollis walks over and he's like, hey, stop it. Fuck off. He's like, you want some meat? I cooked it on a radiator. That's not a joke.
No.
He literally, they are, one of the things that they are doing is they're cooking. It's such a dude thing.
Yeah.
Like there's, and that's the other thing that I really like about this movie is that they're all probably in their late 20s, early 30s, if I had to guess. They all work in a fucking coal mine. They are as macho gets, but none of them are toxic.
No, not particularly.
No, they seem perfectly fine. They all get along very well, and they are friends, and they're respectful and protective of the girls, but not in like a possessive way. I like basically every character in this movie.
Yeah.
But one thing worth noting is that, they're doing dumb guy shit. Yeah. They're in the middle of a junkyard with a car they've managed to turn over, and they are cooking plates of random meats on the radiator.
Yeah.
Which we're still coming to my radiator cookout this weekend, right? Okay, cool. Yeah. Thanks.
Don't touch my meat, though.
Don't poke my meat.
It's been Friday, February the 13th. And Chief Newbie has contacted the mental institution that Harry Warden was housed in, but they have no record of him at this point.
Which is so funny because it's such a weird departure for a moment, this little clip of where she's like, yeah, I'm sorry, we don't have any records of this person. And he's like, well, check again. He was sent there. And she's like, yeah, I don't know. And he's like, well, check again. And I don't know. And it's just it's so cyclical until finally he's like, give me a call back. And he just fucking hangs up the phone.
We get a little insert here of Sarah and Patty discussing, Sarah having to kind of choose between TJ and Axel. Patty is played by Cynthia Dale. She was in Heavenly Bodies, a drama in '84. She was in the rom-com Moonstruck in 1987, which stars Cher.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What about Sunny?
I don't believe so.
That would be Tree Struck.
Wow. You went there.
I did.
For Arbor Day.
It's so fucking funny. Good job, man.
But yeah, it's just a little scene just to kind of, it gives them a little character moment of like, that is her closest girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to your point that you mentioned earlier, it's that Sarah is weighing the options of both. She is not, it's not like she's happy to be fought over or this is an easy decision. It is like, no, I don't know who is the right choice here.
Right.
And I don't like being stuck in this.
Yeah, no. And she's not portrayed as like bratty or self-absorbed. Like, oh my God, they're fighting over me. Wow. It's like, yeah, I love them both. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And it's kind of tragic in a way. Until the end when it isn't.
Chief Newbie goes to the laundromat to check on Mabel. And
this is great.
It is.
That's great.
Because it's like he walks in and he calls her name a couple times and then it's like no answer. And then he sniffs at one point. And he's like, and there's a couple of the dryers running. And then he looks.
He smells his pipe because he's got like a tobacco pipe.
Yeah, he's like trying to figure out like, what am I smelling?
He turns, there's a Valentine's Day heart that has been flipped upside down. So he picks it up and he's walking around with it and he keeps following his nose. This is an incredible prop. It's a really good prop. There is a dryer that bursts open. After he opens another dryer next to it, you pointed out that it's some random person's clothes. So he might be a pervert in this moment. He might be sniffing some things he shouldn't be sniffing. Hopefully cleaned. But the dryer next to it, it's like it gets struck by something from the inside and bursts open. And it's Mabel's dead fucking body with a carved out chest wound where her heart has been removed. But she has been in this dryer for so long that she is like roasted. Yeah. And it is a fake body. The face looks great. The chest cavity looks great. But it's the eyes and it's the skin. It reminds, oh my God, another pull from Thanksgiving because John Carver puts that woman in the fucking oven.
Oh, yeah. Eli Roth.
Yeah, he must have loved it. What did he base Green Inferno off of? What horrible shit has he seen?
Cannibal Holocaust.
Man, somebody poops in Cannibal Holocaust. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Eventually, though, right?
Yeah, that one.
We'll do that as a palate cleanse.
What the fuck? It's like drinking gasoline for a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
This Coco Vaughn is so rich. I'm going to drink some piss. I'm going to become the Prince of Darkness.
Oh, that's a good pull.
Yeah.
To us.
I basically spent the entire episode just kind of referencing old episodes. So you guys got to catch the fuck up.
Yeah. If you guys are just tuning in,
welcome.
Yeah. Why'd you choose this episode to start?
Well, Valentine's Day.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Are you playing us for your lover? Then let's change this. Ready? So then, that old lady's dead.
Yeah.
And like the ambulance guys come in and they're like, damn, this old bitch passed away and got dryered. And the sheriff's like, take her out back. I don't want people to know about this.
Take her away, boys.
Now,
also, we're going to say that she died of a heart attack.
Yeah, and also enjoy making love while you listen to the third gentle bed gaze. Anyway, I was trying to do like a Billy D. Williams at the end of that, but I didn't do it. One of the interesting things that you pointed out that I really think is a good parallel, in Jaws, an expert goes, hey, this shark will kill everyone who goes in the water. You need to cancel this fucking festival. It cannot go on. People will die. And the mayor goes, no, I'm fine leaving this open. I want money. And in this one, because, and I think it's the difference of a beast versus a man. The sheriff goes, it's just a dumb shark. Who fucking cares? Or that's what the mayor in Jaws says. The mayor in My Bloody Valentine is like, okay, we need to cancel the party. We need to take every Valentine's Day decoration in the entire city down. If you have a barn in the back of your home, you need to get rid of any red paint that might look like a heart. We got to clean the city of love. We got to footloose this town. But instead of dancing, it's Valentine's Day.
We got to get you and that box of chocolates down to Mexico.
It's kind of like you respect that character more because he's more interested in protecting people.
And he doesn't want to cause any sort of uproar. So he's still like, let's tell the people that it is, she died of a heart attack, but we're canceling the dance. Sorry, guys, we're not doing it.
Which is funny because then you kind of hard cut to kids trying to go into it's like a rec hall where they're going to throw the big dance and like going into decorate or whatever. And somebody's just like, or I think it's the sheriff who's like, yep, nope, can't help you. It's closed. We're not doing the dance. And they're like, come on. And he turns around and he's like, it's canceled. Leave it alone. Like, you guys can't keep digging. It's done now.
Yeah. Yeah, Chief Newbie, he invented cancel culture right in that moment.
Holy shit, he canceled the dance.
So we TJ and Axel are, after their chat have still not come to terms with anything. They nearly have a fight at work. And TJ is kind of like sent up by, I guess, their boss to get cleaned up and leave for the day. And he speeds off. And he essentially like kind of steals Sarah away from whatever she was doing to have like a romantic moment to kind of reminisce on the edge of like the water. And, you know, he tells her that he loves her and he begs her to like, kind of take him, you know, back, have another chance.
And she's like lured into it and like kisses him on the beach. And it's cute. But this guy, I don't know. He's just so intense in every line delivery that he's like, I'm sorry I was gone, but I know you love me and I love you too. So why didn't you come back with me? Because he's like got a weird accent.
Yeah.
And she's like, I love you too, but I don't know. I'm getting like did.
For good reason, you know.
And he's like, you don't understand. The reason I had to go to California is because they were after me. Lucky Charms. Fucking hate doing this show. Oh my God. Jinx, you owe me a Coke to snort.
Sarah walks home that night and she's seemingly being watched. There's another POV shot here kind of following along. And, but again, no breathing.
No, this is also another, it reminds me of something else. This is like when Lori bumps into Sheriff Brackett because she bumps into Sheriff Newbie in the road and he's like, whoa, hey, whoa, girl, you're fine. And she's like, oh, okay, good. And he's like, you've been years to get home. He's like, please go leave.
Which, I mean, okay, so but that's it. It's like they are taking this seriously, but they're also like, for no reason, just go home.
It is a very thin line. It's knowing that it will cause the panic and the chaos, which will hurt people. But knowing that if they don't tell anybody anything and let them all run wild, that will also end up hurting people.
Yeah, which is then exactly what they end up doing, because then they meet back at the bar and they're like, well, okay, the dance is canceled, but why don't we just have a party at the mine?
Yeah, and I think this is where our clip, like this is where it occurs. And it's all TJ's idea, by the way. TJ Haniger has the idea to have a party in the Haniger mine, even though Mayor Haniger said that was a bad idea.
Yeah. Yeah. The bartender kind of warns them against it, saying, you know, that it's a bad idea, guys.
Yeah.
And so then I guess to prove a point, that bartender happy, he goes to the mine before the kids get there. Right. He breaks in the gate and then he sets up like a little like a little scare for him.
Yeah, it's cute. Listen, we stand horror nights here. We love a good haunted house. So the idea that he went in there and he was like, oh, I'm using the oldest trick in the book. I'm going to use when you open the door, a guy leans forward. Yeah. But he's got a pickaxe and he's in a miner costume.
That is pretty scary.
And he cracks himself the fuck up like I did earlier. He thought it was so funny. Every time he'd open the door, he would leap forward and he'd go, ah, and then he'd close it and he'd go, ah, and he'd open it again and he'd go, ah, and then he'd go, ah. And it was like a whole like thing, and he'd do it a bunch of times. But then he wanted to do it one too many times. And instead of it being a thing that he built, it was the actual miner who, this is such a disgusting effect.
It's so good.
It's disgusting in two ways. It's disgusting because it's physically repulsive to see.
Oh, yeah.
But it's also disgusting and like, oh, that shit is good. Like it's disgusting how well they were able to make this, because he swings this pickaxe from the ground up. And it goes like into the part of the neck where like your Bubos glands are, your what are those, lymph nodes, and it goes up through that, through his face clearly, and then the other end pokes through his eye and like tears that all out. Yeah. And the miner then drags him across the gravel parking lot of this mine. He drags him by the pickaxe that is just stuck in his skull. It really is disgusting.
It's an amazing effect. It is not something that I have really seen before this, possibly ever.
He turns him into a motherfucking purse handle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I love the setup for it. Like him testing it and being so like, he loves the work that he just did. And I'm going to scare these kids tomorrow.
I'm telling you, he's crazy, Ralph.
And then, and he just goes back one too many times. And then the switch there is great.
Yeah, I agree. I guess it's party time, yeah?
Yeah, Saturday, February 14th, Valentine's Day. Chief Newbie gets a delivery of actual chocolates from Mabel. This is where we find out, for real that, she was sweet on him, which is sad. And then he later finds a heart in a bloody box left outside of the police station, which is being nipped at by a bunch of like dogs.
Like random dogs,
just town dogs.
Here, hold on one second. Ozzy, what do you think about that? You're a cat. What do you think about a bunch of dogs eating a human heart? Oh, he looked down.
Yeah, I don't think he liked it.
He didn't care for that at all.
But Chief Newbie gets his note here that says, "You didn't stop the party," and that's it.
Fucking Shakespeare said that brevity in your notes is the soul of murdering people with a pickaxe.
That's good.
I might be paraphrasing.
But yeah, they all the kids show up and they're in kind of their their mess hall of the mine.
Yeah, okay, my father worked in an office environment his entire life, but the office that he worked for had to do with like major bulk ocean shipping, like shipping tons of material across the ocean on barges and stuff. And he worked in offices that kind of oversaw that stuff, and he kind of oversaw their maintenance or whatever. Having said that, because it's very, there were warehouses and docks and ports and stuff, and there were things that were a little like a mine, a little very cultured in a specific sort of workman way.
Right.
And, there was like a cultural environment that they had built. They called like their break room the galley because that's what it is in a ship, and that's what they would call it. And I find this incredibly relatable and super accurate because it's kind of how it looks. Like that rec room feels a lot like my dad's old office.
Right. TJ and Axel kind of have it out over Sarah at some point. She goes to leave and they start to have a fight in the middle of everything. And this is where Hollis steps in, breaks it up, and kind of makes Axel leave the party.
You can tell that Hollis likes TJ a bit more. It's the thing of he has his arm around TJ and it's like holding him back, and he like shoves Axel like almost to the ground and is like, "Get the fuck away from me. I don't like you." And that's how you know he doesn't like him.
Yeah.
He said it.
Yeah. There's no subtlety to Hollis.
Have you seen that stash?
It's great.
That's like the Pringles guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you pop, Hollis don't stop.
That's right. And also, Pringle guy, remember guys, we pay Ty every week to edit our show with a single potato chip.
And he's never let us down.
Nope. He's in the attic right now. He's smiling down on us.
I can hear him just cutting away up there.
Fuck, I can see him in the vent. Get out of here. You have episodes to cut.
At some point in this party, there's a character named Dave, who was played by Carl Merritt. He was also in Pick Up Summer. And then later in 2006, he would be in the horror film Skinwalkers. He gets hungry and he goes into the kitchen to have himself a hot dog.
Yeah, there's a big pot of hot dogs that they're cooking to be able to have food for the party, which honestly is not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Because like people keep coming to add water to it to continue to like cook new ones and keep it boiling. And then as he's looking at the hot dogs, he is then made to bob for hot dogs.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
because the miner grabs his head. And it's such a human reaction because Dave goes, "What? Who is this? Who are you?" Because he thinks it's like a joke, but he doesn't find it funny.
Right. Yeah, because you've got Howard, who is like, he is doing his pranky, funny, I'm the funny guy thing. And so it's like, yeah, you would imagine like somebody is gonna, and you've seen them kind of roughhouse with each other before. And also I think Dave is one of the newer guys on the crew.
Yeah.
And so it's again, it's a very realistic reaction here.
Yeah, to being pranked. And that's, I think everybody's experienced that, of having somebody either pull a prank or do something to make you laugh that pisses you off.
Right.
And that's the reaction that this feels like. The other thing that's sad, though, is that what that means is that Dave never actually gets his hot dog. Instead, he's forced to drink hot ham water. It's very watery, but with just a smack of ham.
That's true. Our other kind of couple here, Sylvia, played by Helene Udy, was in a slasher movie in 1981 called Incubus. And then she is in the Stephen King adaptation from 1983 of The Dead Zone, which I love. And then her, who she's coupled with is John, played by Rob Stein, who was in
good.
Pick Up Summer. So a lot of people from, this director, he carried him over.
That's always a pattern of taking your crew with you when you go to a mine shaft.
But Sylvia and John, they sneak off to kind of fool around in the like miners' locker room.
Yeah, it's where it looks like their uniforms are and their showers are. The way the uniforms are, they're like suspended on hooks that like a laundromat, but instead of going around the rack, they like fall down. I guess there's a reason for that. I've never been to a mine. I have no idea how they operate.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I would assume is like they're in a way because of the face equipment and everything like that. They're a little bulky.
Yeah.
And like the big boots and everything that are they appear attached.
So maybe it's like a fireman situation where you have to have it. Okay.
Either that or it would just like, if you have the amount that we see of miners who are coming and going from this mine and the outfits that fall from the ceiling later.
Yeah.
If you hung them up like on the walls, you wouldn't have enough room. But hanging them vertically, like above you, you've got all the room that your ceiling can
makes sense. Probably make it easier to dry them if you like hose them off or whatever. The other thing that's next to this area is like a showers.
Yeah.
And the showers are interesting because it's so like, it's so low tech, but it is the easiest way to build it like a shower room in a location like this. It's a pipe that leads to a bunch of other pipes. And the pipes that make the shower are regular steel pipes that are like angled downward and then crimped almost all the way shut at the end so that the water sprays like a shower would. And I just think that's interesting. Yeah. She is laying down because he says, wait here.
Yeah, John goes to get them drinks.
Yeah.
Which is it's a Halloween reference in a way because, go get me a beer.
But there is the bit of the difference because instead of Bob getting pinned to the door, Sylvia gets pinned to one of those pipes I was just talking about.
I love this.
Yeah, she goes to run away because she starts to get a little uncomfortable because she hears like steps and jingling.
She hears all the, because like the miner, we see him turning on all the showers in the other room. And so I think there's this moment of like, has John come back and he's turning on the showers and this is going to be like a sexy thing because it's Valentine's Day.
And remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this on Valentine's Day and you are currently inside or have something inside you, just remember, this lady is like running away and all of these like minor outfits are falling from these suspended ropes.
Yeah.
Which also lends the silhouette of people hanging, by the way, which is creepy as fuck.
Well, and that's it's that they look like the miner himself, that they look like bodies being dropped.
Well, and
then they turn out to be a body being dropped,
which is Hap, the bartender. It looks like he was hooked through one of these things. So a dead corpse falls. She panics. She goes to run away. She is met by the miner, but then, in a way that we've already seen before, which is weird that it's happened twice in this movie, this character gets picked up by her head. Like, his hands are around her head and he picks her up.
Because earlier, her boyfriend, John, who has walked away at this point, kind of like lifts her in that way because she is far shorter than he is. And so she kind of jumps up to kiss him and he grabs her like behind the ears almost and lifts her by her head is what it appears like.
It seems like it would hurt really bad. It looks terrifying.
But that is how the miner grabs her in this moment.
Right. And he then smashes like the back of her head, like where your kind of the nape of your neck is. And then through it, he smashes her into one of those shower pipes.
Yeah.
So the shower pipe then is spurting watery blood out of it.
Yeah.
Which is gross.
And it's the amount of time that like, because it's not a continuous shot, but there is a good long shot of him picking her up and walking her into the shower
as she like struggles.
Yeah.
The video game Dead by Daylight, one of the kind of functional properties of the game is that you have to place victims on meat hooks is the idea. But as you are walking them, whichever killer you're playing, they have like a little quick time event, like a task that can move you off course because you only have enough time to put them on the hook. And if you fail to do it in that time, they can escape. And it's like, that's all I could think of is like, wiggle, bitch. Get the fuck out of there. What are you doing? He's got you by your head. All four of your limbs are free. Punch, kick, beat, slap. I don't know. Diddle him a little bit. Get the fuck out of there.
Yeah. Put those feet to good use.
That is not me talking. That is Derek.
That is what you said.
No, fuck, damn it.
No, I love the look of this, like this kill, the way that she's impaled. again, you don't see most of it in the theatrical cut.
Yeah.
And then whenever John comes in, you don't get to see the reaction of like what she looks like straight on. You just see his reaction about her, which is a good bit of acting from him.
It is. Yeah. His acting is great. And so is the girl. And I'm going to go over this right now, who finds Dave's dead body. They're both very good performances because they seem fucked up. Like he can barely speak. She is sobbing and just saying the same things over and over again.
It takes like 2 other people to run and check themselves to then come in and be like, okay, this is what they're upset about.
Yeah.
Because you can't get anything out
articulate. Yeah. Dave, somebody's going back to the hot ham water to get more hot ham. And they are like sifting around and they lift something up and out of the water. I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck is this? That's disgusting. Well, it's Dave's heart that the miner dumped it because he was like, you know what? I'm hungry for heart meat. And he ate it. Well, he took a bite out of it. But then it is so great because one of the other characters has the fridge open because he's grabbing beers. And Dave's dead body has been stuffed into the bottom of the refrigerator. And he grabs the beers, and it's like the fake out where you think he's going to see it, and he doesn't. He just closes it. But then moments later, and this happens off camera, but one of our characters discovers his dead body smooshed into the fridge. And so that happens at the same time. Both characters have kind of burst into the party, and everyone's laughing and having a good time, and they're just screaming in terror. It really adds a lot of... The movie has slow rolled up into this point. There's been suspense. There's been like the slow feeling of the fog closing in of like, well, I don't know what happens next. This ramps it up. This is like everyone's in danger, and now it is a whodunit.
Well, and even the way that this scene is shot, because like it feels like you are a part of this group.
Yeah.
We are so tight in this group of people, and people are just crowding around the camera as we kind of whip back and forth to, okay, Axel he's gone in there and he's found Dave's body, and he's telling what the other person, and then we swing back over here, and whoever just came in from outside of like, oh no, Sylvia has also been killed. Okay. And it's like the camera operator is being bumped around by the people who are doing their acting around him.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It puts you there so much more. It's so frantic in that moment.
Which is funny because it's not an interesting set piece at all.
No.
It's just a random fucking like cafeteria. But it's easy to get a sense of the space, and it's also easy to get a sense of like the doom of knowing that. Well, actually, what's funny is knowing 2 things. Number 1, some of you are already dead. And number 2, because we haven't gone over this yet, Hollis decides to rizz some ladies up. One of the guys takes his gal, and Hollis, Sarah, Patty, and 2 others, and also Howard, the class clown, they all go down into the mines.
Right.
Now, TJ's crazy sexist here, and he looks at Hollis and he's like, no women in the mine. So if you're a woman and you've ever been in a mine, why weren't you allowed? Is it a haunting thing?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like because isn't that like a legend on ships or something, or like pirate ships of like women weren't allowed because they were bad luck?
Okay. Women, please leave us a comment. Are you allowed in mines or boats now? We'd be interested to know.
Yeah. I don't know if that's like a known, urban legend or.
Well, it's in Pirates of the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
But I mean more about the mines. Like, is that like a thing, or is it because I off the very top of this movie, the opening, pre-credit scene is, the 2 people in mining outfits, and one is revealed to be a woman.
So like, was she snuck down there?
And then, it's like, but then bad things happen and murders happen. And it's like,
fair.
Is that what we're playing off of? Is like, oh no, we don't allow women in the mines because the last time we did this bad thing happened. I don't know what it is.
That's fair.
There's no explanation.
Well, if you're a miner, let us know.
Or a woman.
MINER, you bastards.
I wasn't going to do it again.
They might. They're cheeky sons of bitches.
But yeah, so the big realization of people are dead. Axel is immediately like, everybody needs to leave.
Yeah.
And TJ is like, hey, you need to go and tell the sheriff that it is going down.
Right.
And they send the majority of people away, but that is when they realize, Hollis has taken this group down into the mine.
So he and Axel, he being TJ, they suit up, and it's like it's very clear in the conversation they have. They don't say it out loud, but it's also very clear based on just kind of the strength of the performance here, because they're both very good. They play off each other well. And they're both like, okay, shit is put to the side. We both love this girl. She is down there. Our friends are down there. Let's go fix this shit.
Yeah.
And they fail. Like big time.
Yes, because Hollis is like taking...
He's in rare form.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah.
He's taking Sarah and Patty on a tour of the mine, which Patty is so excited about. Because I assume, like, we talked about this, like Hollis, because he is the one who's like, okay, fine. Like Howard turns to him and is like, oh, can we take them into the mine? And Hollis is finally the one that's like, okay, yeah. And he gets the lights on. He gets the power going. He makes sure that he has the hard hat with the light, the extra,
He tips it. He's like, my ladies.
And he's like, he is in control here. Like he knows this place. And so it's either maybe
very
he
well
has
respected and kind of like, even if he isn't like, even if it's not a job that he possesses, people still look to him in these moments.
Like maybe he's worked there longer than some of the others here.
Yeah. He's also the one that breaks up the fights. Like, yeah, he just seems like somebody that people admire.
Yeah. He is, you know what he is? In Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, he's Doc.
Yeah. Honestly. And it's the mustache doesn't help. But yeah, no, you're right.
But yeah, they're down there and they're showing, he's showing Patty and Sarah with Howard on a tour, and then Harriet and Mike sneak off to fool around.
Yeah.
They kind of get separated in a couple ways, but we get some killer POV with the breathing again, watching Hollis and Sarah and Patty and Howard, and then we get one of the coolest images, I think, in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Which is they start hearing as they're walking down, they're trying to leave. They don't know anything bad has happened yet.
Right. But they're just kind of done.
We're done. And they start hearing this noise in the mine behind them.
Like recessed cavity, like a very long way away in the mine. And yeah, it's the creepiest visual, I think, in the whole movie. It's just the miner taking these big, wild, uneven steps. He's walking without rhythm to not have the methane Shai-Hulud explode the tunnels. Their Faram is buried deep into the spice fields. But he is walking and just like an animal, just whipping this pickaxe into the air, and it's shattering the light bulbs one after the other. So he will walk back into a source of light, smash it, and all you can see is his headlamp for just that moment until he walks back to the next light bulb, and it is spooky as fuck.
Being down in these mines for the finale here is like, it works so
It's the best part of the movie.
In so many ways, because you're playing with lightness and dark, the little bit of light that you actually have down there. You have, people who are dressed as, you have the miner itself, but then you have Axel and TJ who have kind of like half suited up in their mining outfits to go down to kind of rescue them. And they keep kind of leaving and splitting up and going off and doing their own thing, and then the miner appears. So they're really playing with like, okay, it's one of these two guys probably,
right? Because he wasn't down. Well, he wasn't down here until they were down here,
right?
Yeah, a few things to mention. The two that aren't like kind of our main cast. They go into like this. It's like a weird set piece. They go into like kind of an office that's made out of mine.
I think Hollis calls it the engine room at some point.
Okay, that makes sense.
So maybe it has like the engine that powers like either the mine car that comes up and down or the elevators in some way.
Right. But when they realize that they're in danger, Hollis says, Howard, stay with the girls. I'm going to go get the other two and we're going to leave. And he finds them laying on top of each other with a giant corkscrew in them.
Yeah, it's an auger, I believe is what it's called.
Well, that's interesting because earlier in the film, what we haven't talked about is that Crispin Glover is there. And he's losing his mind, dancing, having a great time.
Man, he can really cut a rug.
Yeah. But right before he says the thing about, oh God, we're in danger. It's whatever this guy's name is. He's back. He's going to kill us on Valentine's Day. He said, hey, Axel, can you get the fucking corkscrew? And then they were just impaled,
Wow.
Yeah.
It was a long walk.
for not a very good joke, but I'm really invested in calling back to our old episode.
Oh yeah. And someone out there may have had a wee chuck.
That's me and you right now.
Yeah. They bump into TJ, who tells them that Harry Warden is back because, again, they believe that Harry Warden is back. And yeah, Hollis goes, he finds Mike and Harriet impaled by that giant drill. And then as he turns around in shock, the miner shoots him in the head.
Yeah.
With a nail gun.
Dude, Hollis is so cool. He nailed life. But yeah, no, and it's like grotesque.
It is like what is it? One of the early scenes in No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
We watch the miner put the nail in, cock it, and then fire. And then in the unrated cut, you see him load it the second time.
Yeah.
In the rated cut, he just pops him again. You don't get to see the reload.
There is an episode, I don't know why I'm pulling from this of all things, but there's an episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia where our gang individually has daydreams about what they would do during a robbery. And for some reason, one of the characters, Dennis, has a daydream about actually being shot during the robbery, and he gets shot in his forehead. And he like sits there and he sways and he tries to finish a sentence because his brain hasn't realized it's got a hole in it yet. And even in that comedy, that's really dark and it makes me uncomfortable. And so here he has an industrial like mining equipment nail, like a bolt put through the side of his head. And he is like trying to speak and he's like looking around and he's like trying to figure out what happened. And he's trying to leave. And then he gets another one in his forehead. So his frontal fucking lobe. And he still turns and he's trying to leave. And he makes it back to the girls before he collapses. And it's like, that is a fate worse than fucking death.
It is. And it's his headlamp falls off and is just dragging along behind him.
But he doesn't A, know that, and B, he can't pick it up because his brain has been like pulverized.
So he's just wandering in the dark.
Yeah, it's the worst death to me in this in this movie.
There's so much in this set piece that is horrifying.
Blinding.
It's the claustrophobia of it all.
The random tunnels off to the side. At one point you see him approaching the girls. And as he's walking towards them, he just turns left and walks down a different hallway. And so then you're immediately looking around like, well, where does that fucking hallway go?
Right. And it's those things of like, especially after this moment, because it's like with Hollis gone, that was their guide.
Right.
And so they are, I mean, Howard is there for a while, but it's like,
he's long gone because he's a fucking chicken shit.
Right. Like he's lost it at this point. And he's just like, I don't know what to do.
They know that TJ and Axel are down there, but they do not know where. And so, yeah, the girls for a moment are alone. Patty's actress's performance of when Hollis stumbles in and dies is really heartbreaking at first. It's really like, you believe it. She has to get slapped out of it, but even that doesn't work because she's losing her fucking mind.
Right.
This man that she loves so much is dead now. And she can't like bring herself to leave his body. Just a lot of it's a little cliche, but it's played really well here. And then after a while, it gets really fucking annoying.
Because, it goes on too long.
Because the problem is that, yes, it's a very human thing to not be able to move away from the body of a loved one that you just watched be dead. But it's also the thing of, we don't need an exact human reaction, because then what that means is that for the next half hour of the movie, we're hearing, I don't want to leave. I can't go on. I'm so scared. Oh my God, Hollis. And it's like, we know.
Yeah. It should have gone on. And then the slap happens and it brings her out of it.
Right. But to continue afterwards is like, it's mildly frustrating because
for the movie experience.
Right.
Yeah.
For her, I hate her guts. Speaking of her guts.
Well, yeah. And also, I mean, I feel for her because that's Hollis. I wouldn't be able to pull myself together.
No, he's incredible.
He's the best.
Yeah, he's basically the Wilford Brimley's Blair of this movie, except he's not like deranged or the Thing, so far as we know. But then, Patty gets it in the guts.
But the miner arrives like just stalking up out of the darkness. Yeah, and Howard freaks out and just kind of abandons the women.
Yeah, he's an asshole in this moment.
And so, TJ shows back up and they bump back into Axel and they're trying to leave at that point. And they find that the controls for the lift have been smashed. And so they decide to climb this, access ladder all the way up the elevator shaft to get out. And this is where you're talking about where it's like Patty is just over and over and over again of just, losing it.
It's like the entire ladder experience is ruined because the suspense and whatnot is overwritten by the rage of just going, just fucking move.
And so this is a little confusing once we know who the killer is, because you at some point asked, well, is he just constantly through the back half of this movie just putting on the costume and taking off the costume anytime he walks off screen? And it's like, yeah, I guess. Like, it's not as tight. Like, that's something that I loved about Bob Clark is he like purposely was like, no, whenever I made Black Christmas, I wanted the killer, like anything that we see on screen has to make sense for where the killer could have been at any given time.
Right.
This
way more fast and loose.
Especially through here.
Well, so, okay, Howard's dead body as they're climbing up this access ladder falls, hanged by the neck.
But purposefully, Axel goes up the ladder first. Patty is behind him, which is then slowing up Sarah and TJ below. So he gets up, and once we know he's the killer, this makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's like he must have somehow already prepared this body.
Right. Now, in an amazing special effect, this body falls, is like tossed with a noose around the neck, and it falls, and then the weight of it falling that distance, and then the rope going taut. His head is torn from his body. The head is like cinched into it and just hanging there as his decapitated body falls all the way down the mine shaft and slams on the floor. And at that point, they all go, we have to turn around and go all the way back down. Yeah. Instead of just going, well, no, we're almost there. Yes. And that frustrates me.
Yes, I agree. But also, we know after the fact, Axel is playing a role.
Sure.
But the others then wouldn't know. Like their first thought is, oh, the killer is up there who just dropped him down here.
Okay, that's fair. Because the other thing that I was going to say is like, even if they think he's up there, it's like he could follow you down the ladder.
He could.
And that's scary. He'd be swinging pickaxes the whole time. It's like, remember the Hammer Bros in Super Mario Bros? Yeah, but just with pickaxes and he's got a miner mask on it. He's not riding a cloud.
So nothing like that at all.
Just only in the sense of throwing tools at someone.
But yes, they go down and they decide to go through another section to get out something called the sump.
Yeah. This is the section that has water in it. And apparently it's like 60 feet deep. Yeah. And I don't understand. Two things happen here. Axel is made to look as though he is drowned because they hear a commotion, a clattering.
Yeah, he sends the others ahead.
Right.
So that TJ can get the women across.
It's like a wooden bridge over this giant 60 feet lake in the under.
And I don't know enough about mining to know what like a sump is or what this storage area of water. It's like, is this where we've dug this big pit, or we have this big pit that we have uncovered, and so any of our excess water goes to there, or do they use this water for something else? Because earlier in the film, Axel sends TJ to work the sump, and they say something about like, well, you better have a pump down there to do such and such. But it's like, I don't know what any of that means.
Right. Well, and
which lends itself to the world building of this little mining community.
But it wouldn't hurt to explain a little bit. Because then the other thing that happens is that they hear this, like I said, they hear this clatter and commotion. TJ whips around and he goes back, and you just see a mining helmet sinking into the water.
Which is horrifying.
And they're like, do something. And he's like, I can't. It's 60 feet deep. It's like, but he's right there.
It's so matter of fact, but it's our lack of understanding of what this is.
Right.
We don't know if this is standard water.
Or does it have like methane, like a bunch of methane in it? I don't know.
Is it super thick with something? Has it got almost like radioactive stuff? Like, is it things that are going to harm the body as well?
It's mine goo.
Yeah.
You understand? But at one point, TJ's like, okay, this is the way out of here. Grab the wall and hug the wall to the left. Just keep walking. I will meet you. I got to go do something.
Yeah.
Which is another thing that sets it up to him for him to be the killer, because then when he's gone and the killer shows back up, it's like, oh, well, it's obviously TJ.
Yeah. This is the one moment that I bump into where I'm like, what reason does he have other than that? Like, for the movie to exist of like, well, he has to remove himself from them to then the killer shows up and then we can go, well, maybe it's him.
Well, because he's aware that the people down here are mostly dead.
Right.
He's also like, if he's not the killer, then where would he be going?
Right. If
he's going to the Gump, which is the upstairs sump, which is filled with ping pong balls and Lieutenant Dan's legs.
And all the shrimp you can eat.
But as they are walking and trying to make their way out, they're startled again. They are disoriented from where they were supposed to go. Mm-hmm. They are
This
lost.
is where Patty...
Yeah. She's walking, and then from around the corner, the pickaxe gets swung, and it impales itself in her guts, killing her basically instantly. Mm-hmm. I think because it's the kind of more flat side of the pickaxe, it just does so much damage on the way in that, it's the shock probably puts her out.
This was an interesting one for the theatrical cut, because what they cut out here, there's not really gore with this kill. Mm-mm. They cut her reaction shot as she slumps down the wall.
It's like so weird.
All of that is like they cut it out.
Yeah. I hate 80s and 90s ratings boards. Just fucking hate them. But so now the only person down there is Sarah. TJ comes running back. Now we know TJ's not the killer. This is the part of the movie that I felt padded out too long. I felt like this was a bit too long.
Yeah.
Because it's just them walking and they get into like a fight where the miner's got a pickaxe, but TJ has a shovel, and then they get on the cart to write it up, and they're doing almost like an Uncharted or like a Tomb Raider fight. It looks like Brendan Fraser's The Mummy. They're fighting on this minecart, but it's really clumsy and
slow. And
then they jump off the minecart and they continue to fight. And then they go into like an old abandoned, what is that? Ventilation shaft is what the sign says. Yeah. They go into an old ventilation shaft, which the miner tears apart in a frenzied rage. This is good. I like this. I like not only do I like the set dressing because it's like chalk white. They explained earlier that it's like lime dust, which is another world building miner thing. Yeah. But the thing that I like about this moment is that it's covered in this chalky dust for a reason, but it makes it look ancient.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes them stand out against it with the black jumpsuits they're in.
Yeah. Which I think is important because it's easy to blend those in. So taking that step away. But in his rage, the miner kind of pickaxes at and tears most of the supporting structure of this ventilation shaft apart. It then collapses.
Yeah. But not before Sarah, trying to save TJ's life, like pulls the mask off, thus revealing who our killer is of Axel.
Now, you like this. I don't like this. So I would love to hear your take, and I'll give you mine.
We get a quick, as TJ realizes that Axel is the miner, is the person behind the mask, he says to Axel, why? And we get a quick flash showing an extension of a scene that we saw earlier. And it shows that Axel's father was one of the supervisors that was killed by Harry Warden back then. And so he witnesses this murder and his father's heart being torn out, and that traumatizes him, and it has now reawakened here. Now, we all get that basically silently in like a 30-second clip.
Right.
Maybe not even that long. I like it in the way that, and we get in immediately following the collapse when the sheriff and the mayor come in. We do get like basically what I just said of just like, oh, well, he was there. His father was killed by the whatever in just a moment. But in this moment, I think it does a good job of explaining why he is the way he is, like what he witnessed to bring him to this point without him having to sit there and go, well, and my master plan was this and the reason that I am a killer and let me explain it all. It's just like, it is still confusing. It has answered nothing for TJ, who is the one asking the question, or Sarah, who is the person who is in love with these two men. It does nothing to answer their questions. But for the audience, in 15 seconds, it's like, oh, okay, so he was there. That is what has caused this. And that's all we need.
Yeah. I don't like it, not because of the way they handle it. I think the way they handle it is interesting. And like I said, like you said, I think it works really well. I think it works for the time that they have left.
Right.
But to not have to worry about cutting any of because the fat in this movie is good. It pads it, but in a way that makes it feel better.
Yeah.
Which is rare. But this feels less like what I said that this feels like. I don't mind the visual, but I mind what the motivation is. This feels like they write this whole movie and they're like, oh shit, why does this guy do it? And they're like, oh, that's a good question. Well, which one of the kids do we want it to be? And they're like, I don't know. I guess the Axel character. Why? His dad or some shit. Like, it feels really uninspired. I don't have any suggestions to make it any better. I just feel like that's the one thing this movie lacks, is that once you find out who the killer is ruined.
Okay.
Because you've kind of watched him be like like an alpha bro. And like, it's like, you have some characters that you can really read like nothing from and then find out that they're hiding the dark, like the Ted Bundy of it all, where nobody knew. And it was like that big surprise. But like, this guy has no darkness to him. There's no layers. He's just like a dude, like a Chad. And then the mine collapses as the police department and like a bunch of clearly off-duty miners that were called in. They come rushing into the mine. And they're like, he's in there. And the sheriff's like, who is it? And they're like, it's Axel. And he's like, what the fuck? And so they go in, and from the rubble, Axel's arm is sitting there. And he's wearing a ring.
Yes. Which
they have not really focused on for much of the movie.
No, but I was going to ask you while we were watching. They find his arm and they scream, he's alive. And so TJ and Sarah come running back in because Sarah's like, I have to see him. I'm sorry, TJ. I have to see him. And so she goes and she reaches out and she's very hesitant because you've got to think of like what is going on in her brain of like, she's had these guys fighting over her. Now she's literally had them physically fighting over her. And one of them has been revealed to be a psychopath killer.
Like a murderer, right?
And he is in peril, probably going to die, but this is my last moment probably with him. And so she reaches out and he grabs her arm. And then it is revealed that he is currently sawing off, like he is cutting his own arm off.
With like a ghost face combat knife. He is sawing his arm off.
Show us what that would look like, PJ.
Oh, God.
Oh, he's doing it, guys. But in this moment, then she pulls away and the fake arm that she holds. Do you think that this is the same fake arm that they use in the bar scene when they're doing the knife trick? Because that is clearly a fake hand because you see the ring there.
Oh my God, I think you're right. That's amazing.
Like, I think it's the same prop.
No, I like that a lot. Good call, man. That's wild. I didn't think about that at all.
It's the only reason. It was in the second watch. I was like, that ring. Where have I seen? Oh, okay.
That's funny. Yeah. Well, I mean, they lost all their budget fucking collapsing part of a mine shaft.
Yeah.
This is the strangest bit in the entire movie. It is like you go from a guy who's like, yeah, we got a problem. Stay away from Sarah. She's my girlfriend. And to like the reference that I have, the only thing that I can think of is like, I'm going to kill you, Kemp. By 10 o'clock tomorrow, you'll be dead. I'll strangle you. No one will be able to save you, Kemp. And it's like, is he the Invisible Man? What is happening? He's like lost his mind. He's like, I'm gonna get you. You're gonna be my Bloody Valentine. I'm Harry Warden. And he like, you just see him from like a crack in the stone. You see him like skip away, armless into the distance.
Yeah.
And it's like, what happened to this guy?
Yeah, it reminds me a little of the killer in Black Christmas.
Sure.
Kind of the voices that he would put on and things like that.
But if that were seated, I think that would have worked a bit better.
Yes, I agree there because it is that thing of if he is truly that unhinged,
how was he put together?
There's no way that he's been holding it together this well.
It's like if when you unmasked Stu Macher, Stu Macher was like, it's like, how did he? I mean, because Stu Macher's like crazy, like silly crazy, but not psycho crazy.
No, that's mostly from the blood loss at that point.
You hit me with a phone. You hit me with a mine shaft, you dick.
This is one of those movies that like there is nothing left. It's like he runs off into the darkness of this mine, and then we just laughing maniacally cuts to the credits, and it does this thing that I really hate, and I'm pretty sure Gremlins did it as well. Gremlins ended on that beautiful matte painting.
Mm-hmm.
This ends on just a black screen. Like we fade to black, and then the credits fade up, but they're already halfway up the screen. Like they don't start at the bottom and roll up. They're already, and it's like, why did you do that?
Yeah, the credits, the classics started from the bottom. Now we're here, but these credits are like started down in the middle. Now we're done.
Yeah. It bothers me. But what doesn't bother me is that over the closing credits, there is this amazing song. It is like called The Ballad of Harry Warden, and it's performed by John McDermott.
It is like if James Taylor wrote a song about a serial killer. It is so like folksy. It's like, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the, and I can't remember the artist who sings this song, but it's the tale of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Like, there was a guy and he lived in a mine and then he ate a whole bunch of sad people.
Yeah, it very much reminds me of that.
It's good.
Yeah, I love horror movies that have I love movies that have like title tracks that go with them, or like a song that was produced specifically for the movie. So like in a dumb pull from this, it's like Titanic. My Heart Will Go On.
Yeah.
Like that is one of the things that James Cameron famously, I'm not telling anyone who already knows this anything.
I don't know this.
James Cameron, that was like the number one thing that he fought against. He was like, I don't want that song. And they were like, well, we got Celine Dion to like do it. It's going to be beautiful. Let's just put it on the end credits. And he was like, fine. And then it becomes like the biggest
That's the
hit
stupidest
ever.
Sometimes you hear shit about James Cameron. You're like, why does he have like, I don't know. He seems like a dick.
At times, I think he's gotten better. I think his work on, I don't know why we're talking about this. I think his work on Titanic changed the way that he is as a person, because after that, he took a lot of time off and he went home and talked to his kids. And they were like, yeah, you've been kind of a shitty dad for a while and you need to fix these things. And I think he like pulled his head out and did that.
Which is why the sequel to this, which is You're Still My Bloody Valentine, same thing happens. Sarah meets an armless Axel and is like, hey, what the fuck happened, man? And he's like, I'm Harry Warden. And she's like, oh, you're so crazy. So it's not really the same.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. There is there's a fan film out there that does pick up with TJ and Sarah's kid coming back to Valentine Falls or whatever this place is called. Now I can't remember.
Yep.
And the killings have started again. Haven't seen it, but there is a short fan film out there. Obviously we get the remake in the 3D remake in 2009,
which we haven't seen in a long time.
No.
I can't remember how that plays out.
'Tis the season.
Yeah, we might.
And then apparently Blumhouse announced in 2024, I believe, that they have acquired the rights and are planning on doing something else with this franchise.
Man, I don't care about that at all.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm hearing that they're going to start working on something just doesn't excite me anymore.
Yeah. They are so hit or miss.
Let me ask you this. Do you recommend Blumhouse? Here's an easier one.
That's a hard one.
Do you recommend My Bloody Valentine?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love this movie.
I do too.
It is the cast of characters that we have here. They do something that I think a lot of other slashers of this era never pulled off. And that is building enough. In the brief moments that we get, they build enough of what this town is, who these people are, how they know each other, and give us reasons to care about them. I enjoy these people. I don't want to see bad things happen to them.
And when it does, and the others that you love, because there are obviously background faded characters that you never spend any time with.
Right.
But then you see the people that you do like become affected by their loss.
Exactly.
And it's like, well, then that's relatable and that's sad.
But it's like, the killer, like we went over, it's like, it has such a cool design. It is a simple thing, but I love that silhouette. I love just, it's in the pantheon there. It is such a striking figure.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that we only got this kind of one and done with it.
Yeah. It's also the grittiest. It feels the dirtiest. And I mean, in like physically. And I like that too. It's where killers are typically, Michael's like covered in blood and like kind of like sweat and grime. And Jason, is like a corpse, like a moldering corpse.
Right.
This falls more on the Jason side of things, where I like that. It's almost scary how gross that must be.
Yeah.
One of the things that I love most about Candyman, which is, I'm just going to, I always preface with like, it might be, I'm going to just say it's my favorite horror movie of all time. One of the best parts about that movie is the legend of Candyman, so that when he is there, it's terrifying. And we've been talking about urban legends and shit like that, like colloquial kind of tales like that a lot lately in the last few episodes, because that is what Candyman is about. And I like that because that's what this is about too. It is a town legend that has come to life to haunt them all again. And based on something so horrible that it seeds itself in time and it just rots the people around it. And I love that. Everyone's suspicious, nervous. The second someone dies, the whole town unravels. And it's like, yeah, I like that. I like how real everyone's reaction to everything is. I just think it's excellent.
Yeah. So you recommend?
I do.
That's good. I will say, like we've pointed out, I think, Thanksgiving borrows so much from this, that it kind of makes me like it more in a way. Like both of them, it's almost this weird, not related sequel or remake that we did again. I just find it interesting. I think
it's like a spiritual successor in a weird way.
In a weird way.
Yeah.
Because it is so similar. I think the one thing that Thanksgiving was really missing out on is that they did not have, they didn't end the movie with the ballad of John Carver.
How would that go?
Oh, Heidi. I have no clue, man. You're putting me on the spot.
He put a corkscrew into that lady's neck and then they drank all of her gross blood. Here's the last question that I have for you for this episode. Will you finish getting ready? Because we really need to go to Sir Henry's.
Oh, right.
We are late.
We are very late.
Hold the doors for us, boys.
Thanks for tuning into the Third Channel podcast. Please, if you have the time, rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any of your favorite podcast apps. You can follow us on social media at Third Channel Podcast, and you can find me online at thatdrosenberg. You can also reach out to us at thirdchannelpodcast@gmail.com, where we check every message we swear. Third Channel is hosted by PJ Minette and Derek Rosenberg. Theme song and audio engineering by Fly Guy Ty. The logo designed by Belle DeVelco. Episode artwork by Nathan Walkington. Keep it tuned right here to the Third Channel for all things horror. And remember, don't touch that dial.
Egg salad and eggs.